Well, hey guys, this is Alex. These locks happen to come in this piece of cardboard, which is some product, brand name Alex, which is kind of amusing. These are two German, let me get rid of this thing, identical German safe locks, or purportedly they are. Tresorschloss. They're made by this company, which I will just zoom in and allow you to pronounce in your head. I'll call it SECU. They appear to be what I assume is VDS Class A. I don't really know what that means, but I assume it's relative to a B and a C. Here's the other one. There's a ruler in both metric and imperial, just to give you an idea of the scale of this thing. Okay, it's about 80 mil by 120 mil on its face. Now there's two of these. I'll just show you operation with the key, and then we'll gut one of them. There's the key. It's another one of these ones that is double bitted, but I think the bitting is all symmetrical. So, a close-up of the key, hopefully in focus. Yeah, you can see that bitting on there. Let me put the scale in here just for reference. It's about 20 millimeters wide at the bottom. It's pretty nice. It only goes in one way, I believe. One of the little prongs is, one of the little prongs is fatter than the other. And when you turn it, it does that. So it's two clicks. So it passes one stump there and the other stump there. They're sort of mirror images. This one's kind of neat because you can see the levers. Here we are. So you can see it first lifts everything, and then you'll see them diverge as it crosses the first stump, and there it is on the first stump, and then you get sort of an opposite image there, and you can see it go around. And it's key retaining, so this would be the unlocked position. The bolt is on this side, and there it is, locked again. So what happens is this part, these bits at the bottom actually turn the bolt, and then all of these other ones are the bitting, the coating for it. And I think there's something special in the middle, but we'll have to see. I haven't taken this apart yet. And I'm going to use this other one, which has some green spray paint on it, because I figure if I'm going to possibly bugger it, I'll do that to the less aesthetically pleasing one. And let's see if we can get her open. Okay, so this is the bolt side here, so that makes this the stump. This is the first lever. So you can see this would be where the stump hits on the first side, and you can see the little serrations here, and then the stump moves in, and so the key would first push, so it would be this bit here, or maybe this one actually. This top bit would push this up, the stump would come through, the key then goes round like that, well, somehow, and then the second bit is going to push it way up so that the stump can then clear this gate and then finally stop here. So you can see they're symmetrical, and so the bits are symmetrical there, and there's another set of false gates right in there. And then there's this one, which I think is kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure what its purpose is. Well, you can see it has a pin So there's a cross pin in it here that appears to have the function of lifting the gates all the way up in one of the modes, one of the ways through. So interestingly, he does not have any false gates. In fact, he doesn't really have proper gates at all, other than this bit here, but there's no false gates at all on him. And he just goes through and then is free. But you see this cross pin, which is probably more in focus there, and that pushes the levers up, which I think takes it back to the reset. The front bit has this spring, which I believe acts upon this lever, and yeah, it sits on there, and it causes this to pivot down and allow the lock to reset. Okay, so here's the pivot that the key runs on. The key would come in like this, pushes that bit there, comes around, and then that guy pushes there. Oh, and there's your key retaining right there. You don't need that center bit. That just locks right in there, and that makes sure it gives you your key retention. Okay, and then it opens back up. You can see there's this little milled section here, or cast, but there are these little notches here and here, and those are going to catch in the little false gates, and they probably fit quite well on those false gates. So that's we've seen this before, where there's little beveled things sticking out. Interestingly, that stump is just riveted into the bolt. The bolt does seem to be somewhat machined, but overall this thing is not terribly, I wouldn't call it a masterpiece of German precision engineering, which is kind of disappointing. So I thought I'd show you one more interesting thing about this lock. So I was saying that it really only wants to be mounted in one orientation. So you can see in this orientation, I'm going to just sort of tap it a little bit, and the key goes in and everything works great, right? Okay, let me invert it. Okay. So now I've just sort of bumped it a little bit, and you can see that the levers have sort of settled down a little bit, and at this point I can't even get the key in. There we go. So you can see in this orientation, hopefully, you can see that lever number, it's like 6, 7, number 8 is up. So he's one of these ones that's very asymmetrical. So he's not going to allow the bolt forward until we flip everything around. So we keep turning, and he eventually moves out of the way, and then that allows that in. And then as we come back, you can see how the bitting catches on this part. Let me turn it. So the key catches on that little flap of the brass thing and brings all the levers back up so that we can get the key out. And that wouldn't normally happen because they wouldn't flop around like that. We're measuring one of these levers to see what that looks good, to see what the size is of the gate. And so in metric, that's about 746-ish, 745, something on that order. About 294 inches, or 294. And the second gate is 752, 753-ish mil, and the 297. So, okay, now let's take the bolt, and we're going to measure the stump somewhere in here. And for this, I'm going to turn it around this way so you can read the caliper. So we're zeroed out. Make sure that's clean. And we'll get it on the square face there. So it's about 689, 690, depending on where we measure it. Somewhere in that range. And that is equal to about 279, 28. Okay, so we were at 7. Yeah, so I'm going to call it nominally 7 millimeters, and we had this thing at 7.4, so it's about 4 to 5/10 of a centimeter of a millimeter difference in tolerance there. This one honestly might be pickable. The tolerances are a little fatter than the other ones we've seen, and more importantly, it's sort of how do we say? It's not as special, so I don't think I would feel as bad opening it up or trying to open it with some improvised picking tools. So it's a SECU S1000 Class A, German safe lock with the key right there. Anyway, this is Alex. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my feed if you like my videos. And as always, have fun and please keep it legal. Cheers.